What's good? What's good? What's good, fan? Thank you guys for tuning in to the Voice of the Fans podcast. This is our Sunday special, April 21, 2024. We're coming off a wild night, man. NBA playoffs just got kicked off last night. We got game day two of NBA, actual NBA playoffs, not the playing tournament. We actually got day two of NBA playoffs here shortly, about to kick off here. The Celtics play here in a moment. Then man, fans, we got to talk about it. Boxing once again just dominates the sports landscape with the Ryan Garcia fight. Ryan Garcia victory over Devin Haney last night. I don't know how many of you guys got a chance to catch that, but tremendous night of boxing. Um, the undercard was kind of okay. It was kind of mid, but the fight right before that, we saw how boxing can, just snatch the victory out of the hands of defeat. As Sean McCombs actually won his fight, should have won his fight. He beat Arnold Barbosa pretty convincingly, but the judges gave it to Arnold Barbosa, the more popular fighter. Um, so that's how boxing goes. And then we see right after that, the fight after that, we see Devin Haney, the came in there, the champion, undisputed champion at 140. He comes in there, although Ryan Garcia came in overweight, missed the weight at the weigh-in. He came and put a pounding on Devin Haney, and a lot of questions are about. So we got to give props to Ryan Garcia first of all for doing his job. We got to give props to Derek James for all the uh, ignoring all the, I don't know what to call it, hoopla or just unnecessary antics of Ryan Garcia during training and during the media promotion of the fight. All the coming into the press conference on the horse and with the girls and acting a clown and you know videos of him posting videos of him smoking weed during when he's supposed to be training. Within the last 6 weeks of the promotion of the fight. Ryan Garcia is showing him drinking, taking shots within the last, 6 weeks in the preparation for the fight. Where he's supposed to be in training camp. Most fighters 6 weeks leading up to their fight are supremely focused on training and preparation for the upcoming fight. Yet Ryan Garcia, through social media, if you can believe what goes on in social, proved that a lot of that was unnecessary for him. He just did. It didn't matter. He didn't care. He didn't show that off. So that was kind of funny. Um, how that ended and how the fight went on with Ryan Garcia's lack of preparation. So again, boxing once again steals the no show, steals the evening Saturday evening um, over the NBA. We're gonna talk about the NBA in day one. And we're gonna talk about preview day two of the NBA. Celtics taking on the Heat. We got the Clippers taking on the Magic later. Of Dallas Mavericks later on. Kawhi being a game time decision. The Bucks are going to take on the Pacers here in a little bit. Giannis is ruled out, um, causing me to pick the Pacers in that series. And then we get the Sunday cap is the Thunder and the Pelicans, which should be a pretty good game. But yeah, back to this Ryan Garcia fight, fans. For those of you who tuned into the fight, let me know what you guys thoughts are. Gotta give a shout out to Cleveland and his family. Celebrating memorial occasion with his family. So he won't be with us today, but I should give a shout out to Cleveland and his family. But Ryan Garcia, I mean, that was the event of the weekend. I have to say, every week it feels like boxing. Everybody wants to promote the fight of the year. This was certainly the most surprising fight of the year. I could say that. All the fights that we've seen so far in just a short quarter one of the year, well, quarter two of the year, this has to be the most surprising fight of the year. Whether it was fight of the year, I can't go that far, but I can certainly say it was the most surprising outcome of the year thus far. Um, as I mentioned, Haney has supreme confidence. These guys, this was the rubber match. They've had fought 6 times already, so this was the seventh time in the promotional. 7 times in this fight, and that's how they were promoting it as the rubber match as professionals. Haney was the undisputed champion after beating Regis Programs late last year to to become undisputed. Ryan missing the weight, man. That's huge. I think in a couple of systems, obviously, had he came in and made the weight, he'd be champion today. That's number one. And then I think that shows a sign of being undisciplined. He did say in his post fight press conference that it's impossible for him to make 140 again. Now I've never cut weight. I need to lose some weight, but I never cut weight to try to make a specific event, try to make a specific fight in a specific amount of time. So I can't speak on that. I can't speak on that. But I know it's 3 pounds. It's not like he came in 10 pounds overweight. It was not like he came in 5 pounds overweight. It was 3 pounds. Some of the fighters that come in a pound overweight, they go take a shit, they come back, they're ready to go. So I mean, could he have eaten one less hamburger this week? I don't know. He's 25 years old. What can he have done to cut 3 pounds and come in and make the weight over the last 2 weeks? 2 weeks to lose 3 pounds. That doesn't seem like that much to me. But again, I've never done that, so so it's hard for me to speak intelligently about that process. However, you're the professional, Ryan. Doesn't that come with being a professional? Doesn't that come with being the a boxer as you are in your sport? I mean, that's part of it. I would think so. Ryan, you got to be a little bit more professional, and if you are that much more professional, you are the champion today. Um, did that three weight now? It's most of these boxers. There was no hydration clause, and again in Ryan's post fight press conference, he talked about the when he fought Tank Davis. When he fought Tank Davis, he had to weigh in a certain weight, and then the hydration clause was that the next morning, because the fighters weigh in on Friday before the Saturday fight, right? So they weigh in Friday afternoon. There most times the fighters go eat a big meal after they've been cutting weight for the last 3 weeks to make this certain weight deadline. Then they go put on a big meal. They get hydrated. They drink a lot of water, drink a lot of fluids. So they come into the actual fight weighing more than they did at the weigh-in. Haney is argued that he comes in 15 to 20 pounds heavier than what he weighed in at. Another reason I think Ryan should focus on cutting that weight is because then you are allowed to have that big meal. So with Devin Haney, there was no hydration clause. When he fought Tank Davis, there was a hydration clause to where he could not come in more than 10 pounds over the actual allowable weight limit for the fight, or the fight was going to be called off. So he had to, in so to speak, he couldn't drink all that water. He couldn't rehydrate. He couldn't go out and have that big meal because that you had that big meal that obviously puts on a lot of weight. So he had to kind of stick to that situation. He talked about how tough that was for him to make that weight, and he was weak going into the fight. He was weak going into the rounds, and then when you're weak like that, you can't. You have a tougher time. Your body has a tougher time defending some of the punches that come his way. So what Ryan did, he got knocked out by a gut punch from Tank Davis, ended up quitting on the fight. He just says because he was too weak, so he cannot conceivably make that weight anymore. He admitted he can never get down to 140 again. If he ever fought Tank Davis again, it would be at a catch weight. That's what he talked about in the post fight press conference last night, which I found interesting. Um, but not Garcia missing the weight by 3 pounds. It cost him and Devin Haney met a bet $500,000 per pound overweight. Haney went back to saying months ago now. Haney was trying to put some stink in the promotion by saying Ryan may not show up for the fight, cause a lot of fighters, or a lot of people, a lot of boxing fans to speculate that Ryan might not even show up for the fight because he was, all the antics that he was going through, or saying that he got kidnapped, saying that he didn't have a phone, saying posting just crazy stories, just stuff you never see from a boxer preparing for a big time fight, a championship fight. You don't see that type of stuff. However, Ryan was just doing the most on social media. And Haney said, he doesn't think Ryan was going to show up for the fight. Ryan actually, Haney has to eat those words because Ryan actually showed up for the fight. But he showed up, overweight, and they made the bet that $500,000 per pound overweight. That they made the bet during the press conference, the final press conference, and Ryan, to his point, or at least Devin Haney was satisfied that Ryan was a man of his word and paid him the $1.5 million that it cost him to be the 3 pounds overweight. Another reason I think if you cut 3 pounds, that's worth that's worth 1.5 million, isn't it, Ryan? But again, right. So Ryan comes in this fight just a little bit heavier. We all know that Devin Haney comes in the fight a little bit heavier, just going on past history, and have these guys having fought in the past, they kind of do know each other to a point. And Ryan, whether he was playing, uh, slick as a fox, wise as a fox throughout the whole promotion, he clearly did know something because he proved in this fight that he has Haney's number. Now, whether Haney looks back at their previous fights, the world looks back at their previous fight, Ryan was comfortable enough to know that, hey, my left hand, if that's all they're worried about, shame on them. And he proved that his left hand was something that they should have been concerned of. And it was kind of odd to me that Devin Haney, knowing and announcing that that's all he has is that left hook, that he allowed the left hook to knock him down 3 times. Devin Haney, I mean, you could be a little bit better prepared. Now, there's some questions. I have questions about. I had questions about Devin Haney, and I will admittedly say, years ago, and I told Devin Haney this to his face a few years ago, that when he went down to Australia to fight Kambosos, I had Kambosos winning that fight. Kambosos seemed like the hungry, aggressive fighter to me when they went into that fight. However, Kambosos was not that same fighter that I projected in that fight. Devin Haney came in a very skilled fighter, showed his skills off, showed that he can control the ring, showed that with that jab, like he can control most fighters, and we've seen that a few times since that Kambosos fight when he went down to Australia to beat Kambosos. He uses that jab, sticks that jab in his opponent's face, and kind of neutralizes that opponent every time they go to move. That jab is right there in their face, and it forces them to regroup. While that jab is in their face and they're forced to regroup, Haney then comes behind that with a straight right punch, a pretty solid puncher. Haney, I would never confuse Haney as a knockout puncher. However, if you hit a guy enough times in the same spot, like that's gonna cause some bruising, that's gonna cause some pain, and that eventually will put you down. So hey, Haney knocks out his punchers or his fighters from a accumulation of punches, not just the one punch knockout. He doesn't have that one punch knockout power, but it's an accumulation of punches. How he ends up knocking out his opponents. He was not able to do that yesterday because he could not zero in and keep Ryan in one space. Um, Ryan was, slick enough to stay out of the way of the jab, slick enough to move around the ring so that Haney and cause Haney to chase him down. And so then as Haney's chasing him down, Ryan Garcia is able to connect with that left hook, which he did early in the fight. He did it right off the bat in the first round of the fight, which kind of not it got the fans up out their seat in Brooklyn, and it kind of threw Haney off his game. Haney was able to regroup in second, third, and fourth round, and just kind of be the calmer fighter. Where now Ryan is looking for left hook, right, that left hook, right punch right hand combination, to take over Haney. Haney kind of was throwing that jab, was using that jab, was controlling the fight in those middle round, third, fourth, fifth, second, third, fourth round, until again Ryan just could continue to use his feet and his movement to force Devin Haney to kind of chase him around the ring. And as he chased him around the ring, he caught Haney again with another left hook. Now in the seventh round, there was a lot of Harvey Dock. I've seen Harvey Dock officiate a lot of fights. It was very strange last night how Harvey Dock in the seventh round not only did it take a point away from Ryan Garcia for punching on the clinch, what usually fighters at least get one warning. Garcia didn't get a warning for the punch on the clinch or punch on the break. Actually, he didn't get one warning at all. But usually fighters get at least one warning. Haney didn't get, or Garcia didn't get one warning, and Haney, you could tell boxers hurt is when they hug. And when they get hit and then they go to hug their opponent, it's either they're tired and trying to conserve energy, or they just got hurt and they're trying not to go down. Haney hugged Ryan half of the seventh round after every connection, half of the seventh round, and that's when Garcia was doing his damage in that seventh round, knocked him out twice, if my memory serves me correctly. So that would have been three times. But Haney went down. Oddly enough, we went down a few more times, but because he was hugging and holding on, and Harvey Dock never took a point away from that, and he kept jumping in and breaking up the fight. That was he was saving Devin. He was saving Haney in that seventh round. The fight would go no different for the rest of the fight. Ryan Garcia, to say he was in charge of the fight is kind of weird because he had spurts. He boxed in spurts and dominated the fight in spurts. But those spurts equaled knockdowns. So to his credit, I can't say he dominated the fight, but those spurts again were more impactful than what Devin Haney's spurts were, and they've cost. He lost a point. If he didn't lose that point, I mean, maybe it's a walk away. Obviously, there's always something in boxing, but overall, Ryan Garcia shocked the world. I did not have Ryan Garcia winning this fight. I didn't. I could have went to this fight. I didn't even think it wasn't even worth me getting on a plane to go to this fight because I expected Devin Haney to wash him. I expected Devin Haney to wash him and be an easy victory. A boring fight. I expected to go 12 rounds, but this fight proved a couple things to me that Devin Haney doesn't have a chin. If you could connect with Devin Haney, connect on his chin, knock him around a couple times, he's gonna go down. As Ryan Garcia showed tonight, that he can connect him with that left punch, with that left hand. And he doesn't have much of a chin. If he's not in control of the fight, like he's learned to be, he has become. I tell you what, I watched the guy. I picked Kambosos to beat him, and since that Kambosos fight probably 3 years ago, Devin Haney has shown that he knows how to be the ring general in there. He knows how to control the fight, but he did not do that last night. Ryan was a better man. Ryan has his number. Whether Ryan was a better man, Ryan has his number. It's too bad that Ryan did not come in at weight and he becomes the actual champ. But as of now, as of Sunday morning, April 21, Ryan is the people's champ, which is wild to say, boy. If you thought this kid was insufferable before, leading up to this fight, oh my goodness, he's resting up now. Believe me, trust me, he's resting up now. resting up probably for a couple of days, and oh my goodness, you're gonna see Ryan Garcia all over social talking about he's the best, who talking about who he wants now, and it's fair game. You don't want it. You won. For, for you won the fight. You're not the champ, but you're the people's champ. And now he has a chance to elevate his name even higher. You have to respect him because of what he did do to Devin Haney, who was the undisputed champ at 140. Um, Again, he did come in the weight, and that's a one tarnishment on what Ryan was able to accomplish last night is he beat the undisputed champ, but you didn't come in at weight to claim the undisputed championship of the world at 140. Shame on you for that. However, whether he goes to 147, whether he tries to sign Tank at a catch weight, whether they do it again, Ryan has now captured the hearts and minds of boxing fans. And boxing fans like myself, I didn't give him any credit coming into this fight, but boxing fans like myself will have to give him some respect. You have to give him some credit for what he did last night. It's undeniable. You cannot deny what Ryan Garcia did last night. You cannot deny it any further, and you have to give Ryan Garcia some credit for what he did. So kudos to Ryan Garcia. One good thing I say about this. One good thing I say kudos to Ryan Garcia. One good thing I will say about this is we should hear a lot less of Bill Haney. I would like to hear a lot less of Bill Haney and a lot more from Devin Haney about what went wrong in a fight and how you rebuild and what you're doing to kind of rebuild your name and rebuild your status because he's still the champion. He's going to be the champion. So I'd like to hear a lot more from Devin Haney versus Bill Haney. So that's one good thing that this fight does. Ryan should have shut him up for a little bit. He was on social media this morning talking about, I'm outside when we win, I'm outside when we lose. So credit to him for that. But I like to hear a lot less of Bill Haney, a lot more of Devin Haney in the next promotion for the fight. Basketball fans, this is a NBA time of the year, NBA's third season of the year, and now it all counts. It all counts. Everything counts, fans. Every game counts. Every play, every game, every block shot, every rebound. All this all counts now moving forward. Last night we saw the Cavaliers show the Orlando Magic. They showed the Orlando Magic that this now you're in the playoffs. Now these games matter. And Orlando Magic kind of took one on the chin. And can they regroup against the Cleveland Cavaliers? Because Cleveland Cavaliers played yesterday like they've been there before. Obviously, this is the first time that this Magic's bunch has been in the playoffs, and their first time that Paulo gets a chance to kind of lead his team here. The Franz Wagner, the Wagner brothers, Wagner brothers have a chance to play. Now we get to see how do you guys rebound. It's only a one game loss that they suffered last night, but I did pick the Magic over the Cavaliers, by the way. But the Cavaliers proved that we've been there before. We know what this is like, and the Cavaliers has kind of been underwhelming during the season, but they have playoff experience, so we'll see how that serves them moving forward in that series. The Timberwolves uh, smacked around the Phoenix Suns, kind of what I expected. The Suns, not only have the Suns been underwhelming um, during the season, but at one point they were down 20 versus the Timberwolves. I mean, I really don't see how the Suns win this series. I mean, Kevin Durant can go off for 51 game. I guess the trio could go off for a big scoring night. Booker and Beal, maybe they all score 41 game and they get a game out of the series. But the Timberwolves are a better team. They have better defense. Karl Anthony Towns, like another front runner. He gets to enjoy he's like the third person on the team, and Karl Anthony Towns get to enjoy being the number three, enjoy the leadership that Anthony Edwards brings to the team, enjoy the defense stopper that Rudy Gobert is, and then that leaves him some wide open threes and some putback plays, and that leaves him some allows him to go one on one, Carl Anthony Towns against whomever it may be. And the Suns already don't have they don't have a big man, so he's kind of can have his way with anybody on the Suns. So I got the Timberwolves. This might be a sweep, and again, this might be a sweep. But as I mentioned earlier, Kevin Durant can go off for 50. Devin Booker can all Devin Booker, Bradley Beal, and Kevin Durant can go off for 40 in one night and get a game out of there. That'll probably happen. The Timberwolves will probably lose one game, but it'll be a gentleman sweep 4-1. I got the Timberwolves advancing in this series. The Knicks take uh, a 1-0 lead over the 76ers. Now, this is going to be up and down. If Joel Embiid can stay healthy, if he can stay healthy for a full game we saw last night, when Joel Embiid goes down, there's not the much the Sixers can do with the Knicks. And then Joel Embiid comes back and plays a big portion of that second half. The Knicks are still able to pull out the win, but it was a close win. And how confident was Joel Embiid on that ankle after going out early in the first half, or the knee? Excuse me. If he can find some comfort, if Joel Embiid can find some comfort on that knee, get some confidence going in that knee, and just allow him to play basketball without thinking about that situation, they may be able to push this game to a 6 or 7 series. The Knicks are good. Don't get me wrong. I'm not discounting what the Knicks can do. The Knicks are a good team. However, the Sixers are. I kind of feel that the Sixers are on equal footing if the Knicks aren't dealing with injuries, and getting your confidence while playing with the injury as Joel Embiid is doing, the Sixers big man. That's going to be a challenge. That's going to be a challenge for them. But Jalen Brunson is playing big ball. Devin Central is playing big hoop. Josh Hart is doing big things. Like, there was a point in that game, late in that game, both teams. I mean, they must have went 8 for 10 for 3 pointers in late in that game combined. It was pretty impressive showing that these guys. I mean, they're balling. This is a good series. Because we see a lot of gym rats out on the floor. They're playing competitive basketball. But the deciding factor is going to be the health of the New York Knicks, which obviously they're playing without Julius Randle. But when Julius Randle doesn't even suit up, you just got to X him off the list. Uh, where Joel Embiid is playing, suiting up and trying to play, but he's kind of limited in what he can do. He has to find that right confidence level of where he can succeed and versus where he can't succeed, and that's gonna be challenging for the Sixers. So if he can, like I'm saying, if he can put that injury out of his head and just play consistent basketball, that's going to give the 76ers a chance. If it continues to be an issue where he's in and out the game and it's still in his mind, it's still in his head, the Knicks is going to win this series 4-1. The Denver Nuggets, they take a 1-0 lead over the Lakers. Laker fans, chime in. Where you at, Laker fans? Where you at? Cleveland, obviously. And I will excuse his absence because he did mention he's gonna be dealing with a family situation today. Cleveland, where are you? We like you to. The fans would like you to chime in and tell us about your Lakers. They jumped out to an early lead against the Denver Nuggets. By the time I saw the score, it was a 10-point lead in early the second quarter. By the time I saw the score again, it was a 10-point lead for the Denver Nuggets midway through the third quarter. So you guys jump out to an early lead, but then you can't maintain the lead against Jokic. I mean, I saw a play. LeBron made a lazy pass. I'm not sure. I don't remember who he made the pass to, but he made the lazy pass at the 3-point line, kind of a behind the back play. Jokic took it on a. It wasn't a fast break. It was more like a slow motion break because Jokic took it all the way, and for the semi dunk, it was just kind of a weird. Jokic don't have no speed on him, but yet he was able to take the steal and go all the way to the Laker fans. Where are you? Laker fans, stand up. No Laker fans in the chat today. Nobody wants to talk about the Lakers. I mean, yeah, I'm giving shots out to the Lakers. Nobody wants to talk about the Lakers.
Are you ready?
Are the Laker fans ready? Yeah, that's what I want to know. Yeah, there you go, whining Laker fans. Where you at, Laker fans? That's what I want to know. Can you make this a series? Laker fans, LeBron James, Anthony Davis, Rui Hachimura, um, grandson of Jarrell, Austin Reeves, Snitchy Russell. Can you guys make this a series? That's what fans want to know. Can you get one game at home? Can you get two games at home? Laker fans, can you make this a series and take the defending champs? Can you take the defending champs can you take it in 6 games? Just can you get 2 wins? We'll see. Day 2 of the NBA playoffs, and again, everything counts now, fans. Everything counts right now. So the Miami Heat were able to come out of the play-in tournament. Then they're for coming out of the play-in tournament, they get to play. Their award is playing the Boston Celtics, who finished the season with the best record in the NBA. How ready? We know what happened last year in the series with these guys playing for the Eastern Conference Finals. He takes a 3-0, wins 3 straight. The Celtics come back and win 3 straight to force a game 7. Jason Tatum get injured in game 7. Can the Heat turn it on again to beat the Boston Celtics? Can the Boston Celtics prove that they're actually as good as their record says they are? One of the favorite lines my co-hosts like to say is that the Celtics play with their food. Well, the Boston Celtics should know what is on the line. They should understand what is on the line. And they should be prepared to prove who they are, what they can do, and that they're a much better team than the Miami Heat. But as things go, the Miami Heat are, they're a playoff team. They're built for the playoffs. Eric Spoelstra, Pat Riley, they're built, and they have proven that they're built for this time of the year. Now they're going to be without Jimmy Butler, as I understand, because he had the MCL sprain. But nonetheless, it's like you get the Heat in this type of situation. They've proven over the years that they're built for this moment. They don't really care what happens in the regular season. They don't really care it doesn't really matter who's on the team. They have shown and proven that they are built for the NBA playoffs. The Celtics, I don't have the game on right now, but I think I'm sure they're playing right now. The Celtics have proven that they like to play with their food, and they'll give a team opportunity to feel like they're in a game. Will this catch up to the series? Will this catch up to the Boston Celtics? It's going to be interesting to see. The Celtics should this should be 4-1 Boston, but with the potential that Boston has shown, and the potential that the Heat have shown in the playoffs, this has a potential to go 6 or 7 games. It's all about how Boston responds and prepares and where their head is coming into this game. Later on today, after the Boston Celtics play the Heat, second game of the day is the Los Angeles Clippers take on the Dallas Mavericks. This Kawhi is going to be a game time decision. The Clippers need Kawhi. Without Kawhi playing, if Kawhi didn't play a game in the series, this is a 4-1 series. Dallas Mavericks. The Los Angeles Clippers need Kawhi in the series. Needed for his defense, needed for his scoring punch, needed for his playmaking. Without Kawhi Leonard, the Clippers go home in 5 games. Even with Kawhi Leonard, this is a tough matchup because on the other side, they have Luka Doncic, Kyrie Irving, who is playing big time basketball. The adjustments or the additions that the Dallas Mavericks made during right before the playoff, or excuse me, right before the trade deadline, beefing up their front court, bringing more defense on the team, has been masterful. So now you have the two preeminent scorers in the league. Now with some defensive players and rebounders in the game, makes the Dallas Mavericks, and they've been on a hot streak. Their record has been very impressive. At one point they were like 16-2 since the All Star break. I'm not sure if it's that way right now, but might be 18-3 or something. They've been masterful. The second half of the season after the trade deadline. The Clippers have a tough matchup. The Clippers are the four seed, taking on the Mavericks fifth seed, who overtook the New Orleans Pelicans to gain that sixth seed or fifth seed, excuse me. But the Clippers, I mean, they have the work cut out for them. This is going to be a tough matchup for them. Again, Kawhi needs to play. They need to see Kawhi. Without Kawhi, this has the potential to be a 4-1 Maverick series win, 4-2 Maverick series win. Without Kawhi Leonard, they can't win the series. I'll go on record as saying without the Clippers, without Kawhi Leonard, cannot win the series. And then this has some reverberations about what the Clippers do going into their new arena. Now they signed Kawhi to a new 3-year deal earlier this season. Paul George is going to be a free agent after the season. James Harden is going to be a free agent after the season. They got Russell signed to a team friendly deal. So, I mean, this could be the last version. We may see a completely different team next year with the Los Angeles Clippers going into their new dome next season. But the Clippers, they need to get it done this year. We third game on the list today, on the docket today, is the Milwaukee Bucks take on the Indianapolis Pacers. Now Giannis is ruled out for this game, but that doesn't take away any tension that's already in this game. As you guys remember earlier in the season, there was a little teams arguing and fighting over the game ball early in the season, where Giannis they didn't want to give the game ball back to the Pacers, who had set a record, because they wanted to give their bench player the ball, who hit his first 3-pointer of the game. So there's going to be some tension. Halliburton, these guys, Halliburton and Pascal Siakam, coming into this game with something to prove. Pascal Siakam's a former champion. They want to prove that they're in Indiana, where they weren't getting a little love. They lost in the playing tournament, if you remember, earlier back in November. So they have something to prove here, where the Milwaukee Bucks have never, throughout the whole season, the Milwaukee Bucks have never reached a peak. They have never, and without Giannis, they're not going to be able to reach the peak without Giannis. They couldn't reach it with him, so how can you expect them to reach it without him? Obviously, there have been a lot of changes on the Bucks roster this year, bringing Dame in, bringing a new head coach in. The head coach, Doc Rivers, is under 500 as the head coach of the Milwaukee Bucks. So that says something. Now everybody, where they wanted to give Doc some love just for him being a head coach and what he's meant to the NBA, the one thing they would say is Doc is not a playoff coach. And here we are in the playoffs. And with the underman Milwaukee Bucks, and now I like Doc, but now Doc is about to take even more heat, even more pressure because the Milwaukee Bucks aren't beating the Indiana Pacers. I had the Pacers winning this game, winning this series, had everybody been healthy. But without Giannis Antetokounmpo, there's very little chance that the Milwaukee Bucks can beat the Indiana Pacers. Dame, because who else is going to go off? Okay, so if Dame went off and scored 40, let's give Dame 40 and 10 right off the bat. Who? Brooks is their other big man. Um, who- I don't know if he's going to be able to get it done. Um, who's the big man down low going to be able to compete with Pascal Siakam? Mel, Middleton isn't going to be able to get it done. He's on the wing. So that leaves Middleton. So if Dame went off for 40, Middleton goes off for 20-25. That's only 65 points. Who's going to be the big scorer for the Milwaukee Bucks? I don't see it happening. I don't see the Milwaukee Bucks having enough firepower. I don't see the Milwaukee Bucks having enough firepower to contend with the Indiana Pacers tonight. So, kind of unfortunately, um, with Giannis going out, that's a really bummer for that's a big bummer for the Milwaukee Bucks. Pat Beverly is not going to be able to make up the points. Chris Middleton is not going to be able to make up the points. Bobby Portis is not going to be able to make up the points for Giannis Antetokounmpo. I don't see it happening. I see the Pacers. I mean, the Pacers can win the series of four games or 5 games. I can see Giannis and Dame having a big night. Again, they're going to have to go off for 40 apiece and to carry the Bucks. But that's not going to happen tonight because Giannis ain't going to be there. So I got the Pacers winning this game. And then the Thunder and the Pelicans. Both of these guys are young. The Pelicans going to be without Zion Williamson, um, which is going to. Zion hasn't really proven to be a playoff star. So how much that impacts them, we don't know. But we know the Thunder have 3 or 4 guys, and they have SGA, both Jay Williams. They have Chet Holmgren. Those are 4 guys right there that are capable of having big nights in a game. Where the Pelicans only have the erratic Brandon Ingram, CJ McCollum, who you heard from me say already this season, say that he's been underwhelming. Trey Murphy, who thinks every time he gets the ball past half court, it should be a shot. I mean, Alvarado has been probably one of their most productive players, but he's going to come in and have to contend with SGA, Shea Gilgis Alexander, or um, uh, Josh Giddey. He's not going to be able to effectively perform against either one of those guys. So I have the Pelicans being severely overmanned. This might be a sweep. Thunder over the Pelicans this series. But I think the best game to watch today. The nightcap is the Thunder over Pelicans. I think the Thunder handled the Pelicans fairly easy. The Bucks already the Bucks versus the Pacers. I got the Pacers winning that one. But the most intriguing game is going to be the Clippers versus Mavericks. That's going to be the most intriguing matchup going on today. And I just saw the update that the Celtics has jumped out to a 14-0 lead over the Heat. So there's that. That's how that you saw Boston came out ready to play. Now coming Tuesday when they're playing game 2, the Heat can jump out to a 14-game sweep. So it's going to take a couple of games to figure out how each one of these series is going to go, especially have any confidence in what the Celtics are able to do. But that's my series rundown. Fans, let me know in the chat what series are you looking forward to most. Do you think the Suns can come back on the Timberwolves. Do you think the 76ers can come back on the Knicks? How many games do you think the Lakers can squeak out over the or over the defending champs Denver Nuggets? Do you agree with me that the Magic can come back and beat the Cavaliers in the playoffs? Let me know in the chat. Hit us up at underscore voice of the fans on Twitter. Which way do you think this series is going to go? Um, the Celtics take on the Heat? Who knows how the Celtics come out on Tuesday? Let's say they win this game by 20 points tonight. Who knows how the Celtics come back on when they play game two? Who knows? They're so erratic and they play with their food so much, it's hard to tell. They really should beat the Heat. They should sweep the Heat, actually. But will they? And do the Heat have enough moxie to win a game or two in Boston? Who knows? Clippers take on the Mavericks. That's going to be a really good series, fans. That's going to be a really good series. That's the best. That might be the best series. Just looking at it, outside of the Knicks and the 76ers, if we could see a healthy Joel Embiid, the Clippers the Clippers Mavericks matchup might be the best series on the board. I don't think the Pelicans have enough to compete with, especially without Zion, have enough to compete with the Thunder. The Pacers over the Bucks. Now I have the Pacers winning that series, but I'm not convinced that I where I have the Pacers winning the series. I'm kind of concerned about the Bucks who've been underwhelming. I'm not concerned. I'm not confident that the Bucks can play at their peak performance with or without Giannis and win that series, what they should. I mean, on paper, the Bucks should win that series. However, the Pacers are going to be hungrier and win that series. So I'm not. Um, that's where I follow on that side of the ball with the Bucks and the Pacers. I really think the Clippers taking on the Mavericks is the best series of round one of the NBA playoffs. If you told me that the Sixers would stay healthy, Joel Embiid would find some confidence in his knee. I'd be granted to say that that's going to be an exciting series. With that's going to be an exciting series if you have the 76ers playing the Knicks. However, I mean Joel, we saw yesterday that he doesn't have a lot of confidence in that knee. When he comes off, when he comes off the slam off the backboard, and then he lays down and doesn't come back for the whole half, and then he comes back out the second half. Maybe that's just confidence. Maybe I don't know what that is, that why he went out, because clearly he wasn't hurt, but why did he go out? I don't know. It just tells me that doesn't have any confidence in that knee. Um, I don't have any confidence in the Los Angeles Lakers upending the defending champs. So I think at best they'll win a game at best. So that's where my confidence lies, fans. Let me know where your confidence lies. Who you have more confidence in winning in this series? Fans, also about to fight. Back to the fight last night. Do you have confidence in Devin Haney? Would it have been worse for him to just he got knocked down 3 times in that fight. Would it have been best for him to lay down in the 7th round when he got knocked out and not take the punishment he took later on in the last few rounds of that fight? Did how much did the punishment he took in the last few rounds of that fight take out of him as a boxer? Or did it take anything? I mean, he's a 25-year-old dude. Did it take anything out of him? That's yet to be seen, obviously. But what's your thoughts on Devin Haney? How does he rebound? Where does he go from here? He's still a champ. Um, he's still the undisputed champ. He lost his belts, but he's still recognized as an undisputed champ because, again, Ryan Garcia didn't come in with he came in with 3 extra pounds. So the belts came off when he came in, didn't make weight. The belts came off the table for that fight. Now, though he beat him, he becomes the people champ and not the actual champ because he was undisciplined and didn't win or didn't come in prepared to fight. Well, so my question to you about Devin Haney is, where does he go from here? how much of rounds 7 through 12 did that take out of Devin Haney for future fights? Because he got beat up. It looked like, although Bill said this morning on an Instagram post that there was no broken bones. He didn't break his jaw, although his face looked swollen. The right side of his face looked very swollen from those punches that Ryan was connecting with him, connecting on his jaw. It looked very suspect. I don't know. So you're gonna need some time to heal, nonetheless. Where does Ryan Garcia go from here? Do you want to see Ryan Garcia, Teofimo Lopez? Do you want to see Ryan Garcia and um, Pitbull Cruz, Isock Pitbull Cruz? Do you want to see Ryan Garcia and Tank Davis? I mean, is that a fight that should be made? Where you guys want to see? Where does Ryan Garcia, now he's known as the People's Champ, and he might be go to 147. He said he want to fight Sebastian Fundora. Man, this good dude is a troll, man. He just continues to troll. Come on. Sebastian Fundora is he beat he did beat Tim Zoo because Tim Zoo had a gash on top of his head that causes blood to be flowing like a water fountain. Sebastian that allowed Sebastian Fundora to beat him. I think that's a 50-50 fight, to be honest with you. Sebastian is just Sebastian Fundora is what 11 pounds heavier, and he got about 6 inches on him. I'd be surprised if if he's able to connect with that left hook the same way he was able to dominate Devin Haney. I'd like to see a rematch. Do you guys want to see a rematch? I'd like to see a rematch in Devin Haney. Now that you know, as grown men, that left punch is still effective. Can you get out of the way of the that left hook? I'd like to see a rematch with those two. What would you guys like to see? Do you guys want to see a rematch between Garcia and Haney? Do you want to see Garcia, Sebastian Fundora? He has this. Don't even mention Terry Crawford's name. Just cut that. Cut that. Don't even. Do you want to see Garcia versus Isaac Cruz? Do you want to see Garcia versus Tank Davis? Again, like I say about Terrence Crawford, don't even mention Shakur Stevenson. Please don't even mention that name because he'd have no chance of that. Rolly Romero, I don't think Rolly is in the game after he took the beating that he took. What would you guys like to see? Who would you like to see Haney fight next? Would you like to see Haney uh get back on his feet against a fight against a Rolly Romero, against Isaac Cruz? Because he's gonna have to. I don't know if he's gonna stay at 140 or go to 147. Who knows? But there's a lot of options for him. Um, Also, Matchroom signs this week. There's a press conference on Wednesday that they're gonna have. They're gonna announce their fight schedule for coming up for the summer. But they signed Jerron Boots Ennis, who Jerron Boots Ennis is a sleeper fighter, fellas, ladies, sports fans. At 147, Jerron Boots Ennis, and I give it by the end of the year he might be fighting for a championship. By the end of the year, at this latest, at this time next year, he might have a championship. But I know this by the end of the year he's going to be fighting for a championship. I'm not sure who he's going to be fighting, obviously, but he might be fighting for a championship. You know, come to think about it, as I'm thinking, I'd like to see Ryan Garcia and Teofimo Lopez again. Fight I probably would not attend, but I think that two guys who just like to blow hot air at each other, the promotion for that fight would be very entertaining. Not sure how entertaining the fight would be, but for the most part, Teofimo likes to bring the fight to you, and can he stop Ryan Garcia? And loser, that would be, in my opinion, a loser go home fight. Loser go home, and loser we have hear no more from you. Teofimo Lopez and Ryan Garcia. That is a fight I'd like to see, fans. So let me know in the chat, fans, what fight you would like to see. Let me know what you think of day one of the NBA playoffs, start of the NBA playoffs. And then let me know what you think of day 2 of the NBA playoffs. So, obviously we have upon us right now with the Celtics taking on the Heat. We got Clippers and Mavericks. The Pacers and Bucks play a little later, and then our nightcap in the NBA is Thunder Pelicans. And just a quick rundown, I got the Thunder over the Pelicans. Um, Thanks for tuning in, Dobson. If you didn't hear me now, I'll recap it. With Giannis out, man, come on, it's kind of easy. I got the Pacers over the Bucks. Uh, I think I picked with both teams being healthy. I picked the Pacers over the Bucks. Now with Giannis out, I definitely have the Pacers over the Bucks, especially today. The Bucks just don't have enough scoring power, and everybody's gonna blame it and jump on Doc. They're gonna blame it on Doc. It's gonna be a bad look for Dame. I get it, but they just don't have enough, especially with Giannis out. The Pacers with um, Halliburton, Pascal Siakam. I mean, they're gonna run right through the Bucks like water. I mean, that's gonna be an easy game. Um, Dame has been good without. Yeah, that's 30 points. Who else is scoring with you? Who else is scoring with Dame? You're absolutely right. Who else is scoring with Dame though? That's the problem. Dame could go off of 40. He can go off of 50. Who else is scoring with him? That's that's the issue. Middleton, uh, Bobby Portis. Who else is scoring with Dame? If just let's say Dame go off for I said 40 and 10 earlier. Let's say Dame goes off for 50 today. Who else is scoring with them? You expect Chris Middleton to put up 30? No, you can't count on that. You expect Bobby Portis to put up 30? No, you can't count on that. Would you Lopez, brother? You expect him to go off for 30? You can't count on that. That's the problem. That's the problem with the Bucks. And again, um, okay, so okay, fair enough. Middleton and Portis can put up 20 points each. So let's just say Dame scores. Dobson, thanks for tuning in. Let's just say Dame scores 50 alone. Portis and Middleton's go for 20. That's 90 points. Do you expect the Pacers? Pacers are plus 120, right? The Pacers are going to score 115, 110 to 130 today. So that means that they only have 90 points. You got Chris. Who else is going to score points for you? That's the problem. You gave me 3 players, and again, I'm granting you a 50 pointer from Dame, a 50 burger from Dame. I don't think it's. There you go. That's what I just say. The Pacers are going to put up 110 to 130 today. Period. Can the Bucks hover around that? I don't think the Bucks can. That's why in the series, I have the Pacers winning the series. I like Giannis. I like Dame. I like Doc. I like all of them together, but I don't think they have enough to slow down the Pacers. That's my feedback. That's my feedback on that. Clippers Mavericks. Kawhi is going to be a game time decision. Without Kawhi, the Clippers cannot beat the Mavericks. Without Kawhi, they cannot win. So, um, injuries in 3 of the 4 games today. Injuries are going to be play impact because the Pelicans. I didn't think the Pelicans can beat the Thunder anyway. But without Zion, they're certainly not beating the Pelicans. So injuries will be a factor in each one of the playoff games today. But fans, I just wanted to thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you, Doctor, for tuning in. Again, shout out to everybody who listened to the podcast. Um, it would be funny. Yeah, I don't know what the score is right now. It would be funny. It would be. And this just in, the Clippers. Clippers. Kawhi Leonard is out for Game 1 today. So the Mavericks. Oh boy, the Mavericks had a hit up on that game. What's the score? This let me check the score before I log off here. What's the score of this Celtics game? 52-36. Well, they came out focused. For them, Boston Boston likes to play with their food, but today they're up already 20 points. It looked nearly 20 points going into the halftime. It looks like they have their focus today. Whether they remain focused, whether they remain focused the rest of the series, we'll see. But it looked like today they're focused. But yeah, the Heat obviously without Jimmy Butler. Excuse me, I said 3 to 4 games today have been impacted by injuries. All today game because the Heat don't have Butler as well. All today's game has been impacted by injuries. So the Heat have no business beating the Celtics one time. But because Boston is who they are, there's a potential that the Heat can get a game or two out of this series. But if the Celtics come out and do what they're supposed to do, the Heat don't have a chance. Thank you guys for tuning in to the Voice of the Fans podcast. This is just just a little Sunday special, just to whet your palate. What's your palate? We're talking NBA basketball. We're talking boxing. What happened last night? Tell a friend and tell a friend about the podcast. Tell a friend and tell a friend about the show. Thank you guys for tuning in. And as always, fans, thank you for making our voice your choice. Have a good day. Enjoy your day of basketball.